You're listening to Curious and Interesting, a 2-minute podcast on what's new and intriguing in the world of advertising research. I'm Dr. Barbara Phillips, editor of the Journal of Current Issues and Research in Advertising. To Americans who practice Islam, it seems like their faith is under attack. In a 2017 survey, half of American Muslims say it has become more difficult to be Muslim in the United States, and 48% say they've experienced an incident of discrimination in the last year. With a tide of anti-Islamic sentiment on the rise, the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, decided to increase its media presence by producing and airing public service announcements called 9/11 Happened to Us All, designed to position Muslim Americans as Americans first. They created 2 TV commercials featuring first responders reflecting on the attacks, and then revealed the first responders were Muslim American. This was an effort to remind those who might be Islamophobic that it was not Islam that attacked the United States, but terrorists who do not share the belief of Muslim Americans. Dr. Eric von Steenberg set out to determine if these ads were persuasive or not, and for whom. First, he learned that the 9/11 attacks and the war on terror in the 2000s had been framed by politicians and the media through the dominant discourse of good versus evil and Americans versus Muslims. Islamophobia is based on 5 assumptions about Islam. It is monolithic, sexist, irrational, violent, and terroristic. These are not accurate, but they've continued to propagate. The result are stereotypes that frame Muslim Americans as foreigners and terrorists, creating a divide between Muslim and American that cannot be reconciled by those who subscribe to the stereotypes. Next, he conducted a survey with 174 college students, none of whom identified as Muslim. The survey measured attitudes toward religious fundamentalism. Then participants saw one of the 2 CAIR ads and indicated how much they liked them. Those high in Christian fundamentalist attitudes had a significantly different view of the CAIR ads than those low in fundamentalism. To understand why the CAIR ads may have been ineffective in reframing Muslims as ordinary Americans, Van Steenberg undertook a qualitative analysis of the ads themselves. The opening of the ad portrays a first responder discussing the events and feelings of 9/11 from his perspective. However, descriptions of 9/11 spark viewers' memories of not only those events, but also their feelings of diminished safety, increased fear, and human mortality. At first, the role of hero is placed on the first responder, but then the ad hits their potential flaw. The person on the screen makes a startling announcement that he is a Muslim. This act of establishing the faith of the narrator reminds the viewer of the dichotomous framework established in politics, the media, and culture of Christian versus Muslim. Suddenly, the person before them has become the other, and the cultural worldview of good versus evil is evoked. The result may be cognitive dissonance as the reviewer is left to reconcile hero with terrorist. This is a difficult task for viewers with established worldviews, making them more resistant to ideas that challenge their position. If these PSAs don't work, what will? Van Steenberg suggests that CAIR could develop ads featuring credible celebrity sources with religious ties who can communicate key messages regarding a new frame for Islam. Muslim athletes like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Shaquille O'Neal, singers such as Janet Jackson, and actors like Dave Chappelle should be featured alongside celebrities who have discussed their Christian faith in public, such as Dwayne Johnson, Denzel Washington, Carrie Underwood, or Justin Bieber, depending on the target audience. In this pairing, the ads would reframe Muslims as Americans and perhaps even reinforce the Christian message of loving one's neighbors. For more information, this research paper was published in the 2020 issue of the Journal of Current Issues and Research in Advertising.